Animal abuse is the neglect of health care or the necessities that are basic for quality of life. So anytime you can't provide that, it is considered to be abuse or neglect.
Animal abuse, to me, I think, is people just not wanting to take on the responsibility of a pet. They think it's their right to have a pet, whereas I think of it, it's a privilege to have a pet. If you can't financially take care of a pet, you don't need one. You know, they're completely helpless, they're completely reliant upon humans, and they can't help the situation they're in.
The reason most of the time people are cruel to animals is because they have the lack of care. They treat them like property, like they're not something living. It's my dog, I paid for it, and they treat it just the same as they would their car out there. They do whatever they want to. So that's the number one reason that these people abuse animals. They have the lack of connectivity to them. They don't socialize with them. They don't communicate with them. They're just there. So when you do that, you have no care for it.
It seems like in our culture, they're disposable. You get one, you get tired of it, it's not a puppy anymore, it's not cute, you toss it out on the mountain. You're a breeder, your bitch is 6 years old now, she's not producing good litters, so you get rid of her, you toss her out. There's lots of different realms. Some of it can be as simple as neglect, as in you let your dog get pregnant when she could have been spayed rather cheaply, and now it's going to cost $600 to save her life via C-section.
The most recent one that's the most dramatic, right up the hill here at the car wash, I received a phone call that someone had left some kittens in a box in the garbage can. And they asked me what they could do with it, and I asked them if they could maybe keep it for a little bit so I could try to find someone to foster it, and they told me never mind. Well, about 20 minutes later, someone brought in a box here and set it on the counter, and they said that they found it in a garbage can up there at the car wash, and come to find out it was actually for puppies. So the first person didn't even take the time out to even look in the garbage can to see what it was in there that was alive in the garbage can. But thankfully someone else did, and we were able to get those puppies. We bottle fed them, and we were able to, at this point, there was 4, save one. So it's hard dealing with those type of things and those type of people who just let them be. They're hurt. They're depressed. In their psyche, you can see some of them come in, they appear hope is all lost. Their demeanor, you can see it in them. They will be depressed, their ears down, tail tucked, and sometimes they'll even be shaking. So you know mentally it's very disturbing for that pet. What's rewarding in the end is after you've treated that patient or given it what it needs to see it happy and healthy and enjoying life. So when you see those two extremes, you know that you've done good. Just because you see how well they're doing now, you know exactly how bad they were from the beginning. So to see that process, it's very rewarding.
They're the voiceless. You know, in this community, there are a lot of big problems here. And I just choose to help in this realm. This is the way, I think if everybody did a little part helping the community, that it wouldn't be such a vast thing to make it a better place. And I just like to help things that really can't help themselves. Lola was found on Millstone Mountain, tossed out with like 10 other, all purebred little breeder dogs, all small house dogs that are older. By the time we found them, 4 were dead, and she was completely lethargic, couldn't move. She was just a little skeleton. We've had her probably 3 months now, and she still has a little neurological issue, but legit, I fed her for a week, syringe fed. I did not think she was going to make it. But as you can see now, she's good to go.
Some of the neglect and abuse has to do with sheer numbers. There's so many of them. Why do I care about this dog? I can just go get another one. That mindset is what perpetuates some of this, not spaying and neutering. That's one of the biggest issues that we deal with at the animal shelter. At some point, we were euthanizing anywhere from 500 to 600 dogs and cats a month. And that number is crazy. If you were to spit that out in random conversation, they would think that was an exaggeration. but you can go down there and look at the books and see that's a reality. Just dogs running around and owners letting their dogs run around unaltered and contributing to the number of strays out there, and then complaining about dogs running around and knocking over their garbage or peeing on their doorstep, and they're contributing to that problem. That's one of the biggest issues that we have. If people want to contribute and help out the best that they can, that would be one of the simplest things for them to do, is to get their pet altered. Because if they do that, you can get that population down and you're not dealing with as many, and you can focus on a smaller group. And when you can focus on a smaller group, you can benefit them a whole lot more than trying to spread small resources over a large amount. So that's one of the biggest things that people can do for themselves and their pets, is get them altered. And it sounds simple, but it's the beginning of a large problem.
Always spay and neuter your pet, period. There's not enough homes for them here. 8,000, a day across the country get euthanized just because there's not enough homes. If you have them, step up to the plate, take responsibility, and have them fixed.